We're going to look today at how to charge what you're worth and actually get it. And the first step in that is deciding what you're worth. If your self-esteem says you're only worth a few dollars an hour or a day, that's all you're going to get. If, on the other hand, in your own mindset, you're higher up than that, you're much more likely to get it. I think Trump, he's not going to think that he's only worth the price of a coffee or something like that just for a second of his time. He thinks much more than that. So you've got to decide what you're worth. And while you're in the process of that, don't undervalue yourself. An awful lot of people do that. I'm probably guilty as well. You think, oh, I'm not sure if people will pay that, or I'll drop it down a bit, they might pay me more. And actually, you'll be pleasantly surprised. There's stories in abundance of people who've doubled what they're charging. They haven't lost any customers, or they might have lost the occasional one. And actually, you attract a different class of customer when you go up in price. You don't get the nitpickers, the ones that want hundreds and hundreds of value for a few dollars or whatever. You want people who actually understand the value of what they're paying. So don't undervalue yourself in what you charge. And then practice saying it, because if you haven't got confidence when you say it, it's going to come through in your voice and your body language, and the other person will pick up on the signals like an animal picks up on fear. So practice, and always remember a quote from Dan Kennedy saying that when he first put his prices to something, well, what would nowadays be cheap for him, but for him at that stage was expensive, he said it out loud, facing himself in a mirror, until he could say what the price he wanted to charge with confidence, without laughing or shriveling up or anything else. So practice, so that you start to believe it as well. Next thing I've written is don't fall at the first hurdle, and what I mean by that is so often the first time you try anything you get knocked back or whatever. Think of the first time you tried to walk, or see a baby walking or trying to walk, and they'll fall over tens, hundreds of times until they get it right. Make sure that kind of persistence is you, because that is often the only difference between getting what you're worth and not getting what you're worth. So keep practicing, don't let yourself fall at the first hurdle. And the fifth tip I'm going to give you is increase your value. The more you're actually worth to your customers, whether it's real value or perceived value, and often the two are very, very similar. Think that a car is a car is a car, but top-end cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, charge a lot more because they've increased the perception of value. Okay, they cost more to build, but not necessarily as many times as whatever. Or think of a fashion item where very often the top-end fashion items sell for thousands and the cheap ones sell for single figures. So work out ways to increase your value to your customers, or the perception of value, and you'll find out that you're charging what you're worth and getting it more and more often. So go for that. Click the link below this video for more help to charge what you're worth. So go on, click the link, explore further.